30 is an age that can be interpreted in many ways. Some say it is the end of youth, and others say it's another milestone, like a solemn marker of adulthood. Well, we're not here to debate about that, but I do agree that reaching 30 is something to be celebrated. Living 3 decades on this earth is already an accomplishment. But it's not like when you woke up on your birthday, you'll suddenly become a sage full of wisdom. But it is enough time to iron out some flaws in life and form some good habits. And to reach that stage in life, there are things that you should figure out by the time you're 30. And why are these things important? Stick with us until the end to find out. Welcome to Thrivetastic. If you're new here, why not hit that subscribe button and join our community? And as always guys, give this video a thumbs up for that YouTube algorithm. Number 1. Your best years could still be ahead of you. Some people are trapped in the past. When you were younger, you had all the time in the world and had few responsibilities. You also didn't need 3 long days to recover from a night out. But that doesn't necessarily mean your best years are behind you. You still have plenty of time left. After all, they say 30 is the new 20. In general, humans are living longer and healthier lives. In fact, in terms of quality of life, you're living better than previous generations of royalty. If you don't believe us, look it up. People tend to underestimate what they can accomplish in 10 years. So imagine what you can do in 30. Number 2. What motivates you? As you become older, motivation becomes more difficult to maintain. You can persuade a child to finish their homework by rewarding them with their playtime. But no one can motivate an adult to complete their taxes on time, aside from possible fear of the government. The older you become, the more difficult it is to find motivation, since there is no one to throw a carrot in front of you, which is one of the reasons why individuals struggle with motivation. They expect it to come from the outside, not from within, and tend to overcomplicate things. However, it could be as simple as finding a good reason to wake up in the morning. Number 3. What do you hope to achieve by the age of 30? You should be aware of your capabilities. Your true potential may not yet be realized, but you won't know unless you understand yourself. Do you know where your limits are? How long can you maintain your focus? How quickly can you learn something new? People are far more capable than they believe, and by the age of 30, you should bet more on yourself. Number 4. You alone are accountable. First and foremost, at the age of 30, you must acknowledge that your current situation is the outcome of your choices. Nobody does it for you most of the time. You have complete control over the vast majority of the factors that greatly influence your life. Everything you've done thus far, good or bad, is entirely your responsibility. For instance, if you give a bunch of monkeys a typewriter and an endless amount of time, they'll eventually write like Shakespeare. What I mean is that there are certain actions you can take that will make your dream life come true, and that is something that you alone can do. Number 5. How to educate yourself. They say that learning is a lifelong process, and I agree. Let me tell you a story of the mother of my friend who is 54 years old. When the pandemic starts, most teachers switch to online teaching. Unfortunately, not all are equipped with the knowledge and skills for this kind of teaching. Some of the older generation teachers that are at a retirable age opt to have an early retirement. However, for those who are not there yet, they have no choice but to try hard and learn. At first, they were all complaining that it was impossible, especially those who are in their 50s. But 2 years after, they became so good at it that they became reluctant to return to the traditional way of teaching. The mother of my friend said that because of what happened, she realized that regardless of age, it's never too late to learn new things, and that if there is a will, there is always a way. That's why one of the most important things to realize before turning 30 is that learning never ends. You can't just finish school and call it a day. Basing your next 50 plus years on what you learned 10 years ago is a dangerous game, and you will surely lose. The best way to invest in yourself is to educate yourself, and it never stops. Number 6. You've already spent the majority of your time with your parents. By the time you hit 30 and you still have them, you've already spent 90% of your time with them. Some people are having difficulty comprehending this. When you were younger, you saw your parents every time you came home, but you no longer do. Your time with your parents is limited by family gatherings, and it will remain so unless you take action. This is also true for friendships. The majority of your time is spent simply going about your daily activities. It will not come naturally if you do not intentionally set time with your loved ones. Number 7. Be comfortable with making sacrifices. The more you become older, the more sacrifices you'll have to make. Every choice to do something implies a choice not to do something else. If you are unaware of these sacrifices, you will naturally choose the easiest option. You'll settle for a little now rather than a lot later. To be at ease with making sacrifices, you must first understand what you must give up and what you will receive in exchange. People who are reluctant to make sacrifices prefer the illusion of a good life than taking control of their future. Number 8. How to make better mistakes. You will inevitably make a mistake because it is difficult to predict the future and there is no cheat code to assist you all the way. That's why it is critical to understand how to make better mistakes. You accomplish this by ensuring that whichever decision you make permits you to continue playing the game. If you put all of your life money into one thing and it fails, by the time you learn a great lesson about not placing all of your eggs in the same basket, you would also have no more eggs. So, as long as you can continue to play the game, you can make as many mistakes as you like. Just don't make it a habit though. Number 9. How to take care of others. Try imagining for a moment that you are the last human being on Earth, and that everything is taken care of by robots. You may believe you'll have a great time doing anything in this world, but in reality, you'll probably go insane in less than a week. You need decent people around you, no matter how antisocial or introverted you believe you are. The best times in life are those spent with others. We need to be a part of something. It's basically human nature, and you do that by learning how to care for others. You need to understand how to be a great friend, a great teacher, a great parent, and so on. Number 10. How to find balance. People who are happy in life have a good balance of wealth and passion. They can take care of themselves and their loved ones since they have the means to do so. More often than not, what makes you happy and what gives you money are two different things. That's why no matter how determined you are in your financial journey, don't forget to have a balance between the two. There will be times when you must sacrifice some of your balance for a sprint, but never fully disregard it. The last thing you want to be is lonely and unhappy. Material things will never fully satisfy you. You must strike a balance between your experiences. Number 11. What makes you unique? One of the most important skills a person can have is the ability to utilize who they are. You are the totality of your past experiences, and two persons can't have the same experiences at the same time. That implies each of you has your own perspective on life. How well you can use that will determine how well you perform in life. If you don't know what makes you different, it's time to find out. Consider what comes naturally to you, what you might work on for hours on end, and what is apparent to you but is confusing to others. Number 12. How to keep growing. Scientists are still debating whether the brain stops developing at a certain age. But one thing is known. Some people continue to grow while others stop. We've encountered people in their 40s who are just as invested in their development as they were in their 30s and 20s. They are still curious, meeting new people, learning about new technologies, and looking for ways to improve themselves. These are the ones who will live life to the fullest. Number 13. How to keep up. The divide between the rich and the poor widens year after year, and the middle class will soon vanish. Whatever your feelings are regarding this, you must take care of yourself. At the same time, an increasing number of people believe that hard effort does not foretell financial security, and they are correct. However, the reason for this is that smart work is becoming more accessible as entry barriers are getting lower. The entire industry is changing. Let's take being a media celebrity for example. When the pandemic hit, Kaby Lame began making TikTok videos and is now the face of Hugo Boss. It's easy to say, well, how is that fair? I'm working a 9 to 5 while TikTokers get millions for apparently doing nothing. The point we're trying to make here is that living in your own bubble isolates you from the rest of the world. If you don't understand how and why things are happening, you'll be perplexed by how individuals are ensuring their future in ways that you can't comprehend. You can, for example, buy Apple shares from your phone while taking a dump. The point is, there are more baskets for you to throw your eggs into, and they're only 2 clicks away. So keep an eye on what's going on in the world. Number 14. How to disconnect. There are a growing number of people who are completely exhausted or have lost contact with reality. The majority of your day is spent sitting in seats and staring at screens. It has an impact on your mental health as well as your physical health, so you must find a way to detach from all of the noise. If achieving balance keeps you from burning out, disconnecting after a sprint may recharge you. A sprint is defined as a time of 1 to 3 months, in which things are extremely difficult. If you strive to make your life exciting, you will discover that you will always bounce back and forth between sprints and recharging. Number 15. How far you've come. The only reason to look back is to see how far you've gone. It's a great approach to be grounded in the present, while also being ambitious for the future. Assess your life to see what obstacles you've overcome and how you've grown as a person. So far, you've done an excellent job. It's now time to make your ideal life a reality. You've had plenty of time to experiment. You've done a few different jobs and lived in a few different cities. But it's time to start realizing what a great life looks like. You must ground yourself in reality and persevere long enough to achieve something difficult but attainable. Try to envision what a wonderful life would mean for you. Where do you see yourself settling down? What do you want to do for a living? By the time you're 30, you might be surprised to discover that your ideal life looks nothing like you expected. You've had enough experience to know what a perfect day for you looks like. You envision it and then work towards it. Thank you for watching this Thrivetastic video. So if you found it valuable, consider subscribing to our channel and joining our awesome community. And if you're still hungry for more, we handpicked this awesome Thrivetastic video for you to watch next.